RWTH Aachen University is a top-ranked university in Europe and I think in the world.
The strength of RWTH Aachen University is its interdisciplinarity. We have a lot of different institutions, a lot of different faculties, and they all work together.
There are strong bonds with industry and research partners, and it was great to build that kind of network here.
I think the atmosphere is good and the teachers are nice and the students, they are friendly and love to sharing, and I make some friends, and that's the most important.
So at the end, this would make me more comfortable facing new challenges, or like at least not having the fear to face challenges.
He said it would be a tough and challenging program, but if I work hard, I will be qualified for many disciplines in my field, and I will be miles ahead of others. So I decided, okay, I want to do it.
In these 2 years, I was like so much pushed. Then I'm now like more stronger than before.
Every day you will encounter new problems, you will find new challenges, but also be able to realize new solutions. Together we will be able to develop your career path.
Fulfill any dream you'd have, yes, by simply coming to Aachen.
Let's start today. Come to RWTH Aachen University.
Exactly, come to RWTH Aachen University, right where technology happens. A warm welcome to you guys. My name is Melanie Ostfeld and I'm here to share some valuable information with you guys in case you're thinking about studying in Germany and maybe choosing RWTH Aachen and its International Academy. So, in case you have questions, you can write them into the chat. And I have a dear colleague, Sophia Knebekamp, who's here from the intake apartment. And she will be able to answer your questions right away and post some links for you to check out after this webinar. So, what does it actually feel like coming here to this city called Aachen in Germany and studying at RWTH Aachen University with its International Academy? This is what we're going to address today, and it's in the context of a webinar series. So right now we are focusing on the city and the university, the International Academy. Next time we are going to have some guests here in the studio. There will be Franziska von Meer from the Career Management, a professor from the Civil Engineering Master's degree who represents engineering in general, and an alumnus who all share their perspectives on how people build a community here, who's here to mentor you when you decide to come here, who's really the people behind your journey at RWTH. And then we're going to deep dive in the next session and really look into the different engineering master's degree programs, also with people who are studying those courses right now, and the MPA European Studies. And then, of course, we'll have a last webinar where we get you started with the application process and share some scholarship and financing opportunities with you. So in case you want to learn more about these details, leave your email address via this QR code. You can scan it comfortably right now or take a screenshot for now, and then leave your data so we can send you a follow-up after this. Promise not to make spam. Okay, so let's dive into today's topic. What makes RWTH Aachen University and its academy stand out? That's obviously something you might wonder about in case you're trying to see where you want to go. Plus, you want to see where are you going? So which is the city? Is the city of Aachen fascinating? Spoiler alert, yes. We are going to see in a minute. We're going to share some videos we have recorded in the city center. And obviously, you might also be a little fearful about the language requirements. Do I need to know German in order to study there? Well, no. Rest assured, you guys are going to see the different master's degree programs we teach here in English. So no German requirements. Well, the textile engineering master needs you to have an A1 level, which is basically, hello, my name is, and not that much more, so don't fear about getting to that level. and the rest is all in English, and you can start working on your German in classes because you'll have time in your curricula to do so. And RWTH Aachen University is a university of excellence, which means that you will be at a top tech place here in Germany. There are only 11 universities that do have this status, and they need to qualify it regularly. So there are different clusters the universities focus on, and in our case, we have various clusters of excellence. This means that in the rankings, here you see a QS World ranking, we actually stand out. In mechanical, aeronautical, and manufacturing engineering, we're the first one in Germany, and even the overall look at it worldwide is quite well. And when you ask yourself, okay, but where is Aachen? I've never heard of it. That's totally fine. At this map, you can see that we are basically at the border with Belgium and the Netherlands. So practically you can walk outside the campus and get to this border triangle, which is a fascinating thing to do, and I highly recommend it. Plus, you can obviously travel around. Once you're a student here, you will have a so-called Deutschland ticket, which means that you can use all the public trains, buses, and trams to move around with just one monthly fee. And that's really, really nice to see a lot of the country, but also just hop over the border and visit Maastricht, which is 1 hour by bus from here, or even Brussels, 1 hour and a half, I think, by train, or maybe go to Paris in a 2.5 hour train ride with the fast train. So all of these options are so beautiful for you to explore everything of Europe and not just stay here. But obviously, here you're going to be surrounded by a vibrant and beautiful student community. In this area, which is called North Rhine-Westphalia, we have around 78,000 students from different nationalities. So you're definitely not going to be alone. You're being great company to get to know different cultures and explore various ways of living. And when we think about the university itself and the science and industry connection we have here, then you need to know that there are over 400 companies who work together with the different research institutes. They either have an office here on campus, or they just work on projects really regularly, which is why they're part of the statistics. So it's a really high investment volume and a huge area where you are going to move around once you're here. This is one of the pictures of the Melaten campus, and right now we are here at the Digital Education Center you see standing out in orange. But actually, we went outside to give you an impression of this campus, of the buildings in the city center. But just be aware, don't be shocked. We have 4 seasons here in Germany, and right now it's winter time. So it seems cold, but don't worry about it. It's not like that all year long. Let's have a look. So right now I'm standing outside the film studio. This is Campus Melaten, where we have many different research institutes and laboratories. For example, there are some that focus on automotive engineering, like PEM, where they do research on e-mobility components. Others, like ITA, for example, focus on textile engineering. And then there are many others who focus on their research areas, like photonics, sustainable energy, or smart logistics. And there are so many more. For example, the Machine Tool Laboratory, WZL, has around 800 employees, and you as a student can work at these different institutes. And since there are 45,000 students at RWTH Aachen University, it seems like a really huge campus. But don't worry, actually, in your private classes from RWTH International Academy, you will work in smaller groups. And this seems huge, yes, but we're only a 15-minute bus ride away from the historic city center. We took a shortcut. So this is the main building where the university president and administrative staff have their offices. And right next to this main building, you find the so-called Super C. Why do you think the building is called that way? Well, if you take a closer look at its shape, I'm pretty sure you're going to figure it out. Also, the C stands for Central Service. So you as a student find the most important administrative offices in there. The exam office, the international office, and you can even extend your student visa right here. No need to find an embassy. And when you first come to Aachen, obviously this calls for a celebration. We are going to invite you for our welcome ceremony, which takes place right here and looks like this. So right now, I'm doing something really scary for RWTH students. It is said that any student who walks through this Carmen gate will not complete their degree. Well, I don't care. I've got my master's degree, and you guys also don't need to worry because there is plenty of space outside the gate and you can just walk around it. So this was some impressions from our university and the city center, and I mentioned that RWTH International Academy has private classes. So let's make this a little clearer for you guys. RWTH Aachen University is the public institution, the University of Excellence, and since they can only attend a certain amount of international students, they created RWTH International Academy, where we can have you guys as our guests and really teach everything in English. So these are the distinctions. You're going to be there with some German classmates once in a while too, but mostly it's more private and focused on what your specialized master's degree is focusing on. And let's have a look at what that means. In case you're looking for a high-end master's degree, we've got a whole range of options for you. So if you have a background in mechanical engineering, maybe mechatronics, automation engineering, or something related to automotive, you might be interested in one of those 3 degrees. We have, for example, computer-aided conception and production in mechanical engineering, short CAME or CAME. So this is basically digital engineering. You're going to see simulations, modelations, work with digital twins, and really see how you can use that in production. And then the MME CAME is very related to this first degree because now you combine the engineering knowledge with classes in management. And textile engineering, this is something where you're going to see sensors, intelligent fibers, and really focus on how you can apply those in aeronautics, in automotive engineering, and make the most of this engineering class, nothing to do with design of clothes, for example. So another option is the Smart Production Engineering program. So there you're obviously focused on how you can get the best out of your production line, combine the different machines and digitalize the process and see what capacities you can get out there. Again, combine it with management and you'll have the option to oversee projects and a team, and these kinds of capabilities make part of the MME in production systems. And then we have the Robotic Systems Engineering Master's degree, where you're going to program and design intelligent robotic systems. Now, in case you're a civil engineer, you might want to focus on resilient civil engineering, where you're going to see the construction of different infrastructure like streets and buildings, but also make them resilient in case of climate change, or so that they can really be stable with all these different urbanization problems that are coming along these days. And then battery systems engineering is a great option for you in case you have a STEM background, so mathematics, biology, pick what you like, you can do this master's degree program, but only if you do a German engineering college beforehand. So this means you take 5 classes online between July and December, and then basically you are in the master's degree program the next year, because this is a requirement to get the admission. The other ones I've just mentioned can also take the German, the GRE test, or make the German Engineering College, with 2 exceptions. Brazilian civil engineering does not have this as a requirement. The German Engineering College with the classes online is rather an option. And European studies, with this our last option here, does not need a GRE test or the German Engineering College, so you can apply with any background you have. You just need to make us see that you want to focus on this topic, that what you've done before is relatable with also the digitalization of the European Union or climate change, because those are the 2 focus topics of this master's degree program. So let's have a quick look at what students who are studying these different programs, what they end up as. People usually sign their contracts within the first 3 months after graduation, and a lot of them, around 80%, stay to work in Germany. And when we look at the top 10 job titles of an alumni group, here we have asked around 140 people, and they sent in their answers. You can see that, yes, design engineer is the most relevant title that came out. So these people design products or components using, for example, CAD software, or they work closely with manufacturing, quality, and suppliers. But you can also find other titles like project engineers, project managers. You might want to oversee projects in your future career, so this is something you'll definitely be able to do. And a little side note, you can see that 25 people answered that they're a research assistant. So your career path can not only go to a company. Obviously, you could also be an entrepreneur and build your own business, but you can also just follow science some more and go into research, because obviously, as this is a really high-end university, you'll be very well prepared to do so. Well, what if you want to start your own business? Well, in that case, you're lucky. We have a video for you. The German Startup Monitor announced that RWTH Aachen is the #1 university for entrepreneurship. We have the RWTH Innovation Entrepreneurship Center, which bundles the promotion of technology-oriented startups in the region. Plus, there is the Collective Incubator, which is a beautiful co-working space where you as a student, young scientists and entrepreneurs come together and work on their ideas. And this right here is the Digital Church, part of what the Digital Hub Aachen has to offer. It brings together startups, small and medium enterprises, and the industry as users, and you can work on your own digital business models. So, in case you've got an idea and want to start your own business, this is where you find the support to make it happen. Plus, isn't it a beautiful church? It's just a very inspiring place to work on your ideas, I think. In case you want to know more about your different career options and how we as the RWTH International Academy support you on your path, you can have a look at this podcast episode. It was made usually in a podcast which is called Entre Empanadas y Printen, so it's in Spanish, but this special episode is in English. So ignore the first minute, it's when we do the introduction and then the conversation starts, and I talk with Franziska von Meer, our guest next time, about the different career paths you might want to look into. So, obviously, if you come to Aachen, you're wondering, what is the city like? You are going to be in a quite small city because, yes, we have 4 universities, so basically every fourth inhabitant is a student. But yet, what can you expect here? We have some pictures for you. So here you can see the different spots in Aachen. This is from the other side of the cathedral, where you have also some cafes and bars. This is a picture from the so-called CHIO event, which is the world's largest and most prestigious annual equestrian event. So it's a festival that takes, I think, a whole week and even more events the second week. So this is when Aachen is full of people and everyone is really hoping to see a tournament in this festival. If you like to be outdoors, you can also take a walk in the Eifel National Park and just enjoy nature and being really, quiet in your own beautiful space. Also, some more quiet you find in the relaxing mineral thermal waters. We also have a sauna there, so it's a beautiful spot in case you're exhausted from your exams. You just go there and relax for an evening. They even have special prices for you as a student. And since Aachen is a rather touristic place, people come here from the Netherlands, from Belgium, to just pass the day, and obviously it's a beautiful city center. So we once again went outside and want to show you more of that. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is Aachen Cathedral. It was built and expanded over 3 eras, and you can still identify the different sections if you take a closer look. Many medieval kings and queens were crowned in there. You might have heard of Charlemagne, also known as Charles the Great. He was the first Holy Roman Emperor. And even today, we still remember his legacy. In this building, the International Charlemagne Prize of Aachen is awarded every year to recognize contribution for European unity and integration. So this is a spot with a lot of history and tradition. And here I have a tiny piece of tradition, the so-called Aachener Streuselbrötchen. Hard word, I know, but it's delicious. Here in Pontstraße is the place to be for students. They can go out day and night time, find different cafes, bars, a cinema, restaurants. So basically, there's something for every taste. Now, all of that looks great, but of course the real question is, what does life like this actually cost? So let's take a look at how Aachen compares to our capital Berlin when it comes to rent and everyday's expenses. When we compare those, the cost of living in general in Aachen is 3.6% lower than in Berlin without considering rent. When we do so, it's significantly lower than in Berlin, so this is a really, really great thing to know. Restaurant prices are also almost 10% lower, and the local purchasing power is 8.3% higher. So for students and early career professionals in particular, this difference really matters, and it's actually a smart choice to come here and live for your studies or maybe even to work here afterwards. Okay, so this was it for today's session. I want to give you an outlook on how we're going to go on next time. So you'll never walk alone is our basic message next time. We're going to have a professor, Franziska from Career Management, and an alumnus telling you about how the Aachen community is shaped and what career paths you can actually expect. Then we're going to do the deep dives into the engineering programs. You're going to have time to ask questions to students who study your program. And also, we are going to give you more detailed information on how to apply. But maybe Sophia in the chat can use this moment to share a link on how to apply at RWTH Aachen University. In case you're already preparing your papers, you can still do so until March 1st and send everything to RWTH Online, our portal, where you can apply. After these sessions, we're going to have some more master's program introductions. So you can see one of them already took place. If you want to have a look at resilient civil engineering, just send us a quick email and we will provide you with the video. The other ones are going to take place by the end of February, so you might even have handed in your application already by then and see what your next steps are and how the curricula actually are, because in these webinars we're going to have academic advisors, professors, and also students here to talk more about the detailed information, the detailed content of each program. And then next steps after your admission, there's going to be another info session, and you can also ask current students to prepare best for your journey here to Aachen. So this is it. You might want to scan that QR code. It's the same from the beginning, to leave your email address, and we can contact you with all this information afterwards. Thank you so much for attending, and goodbye.